Well, there it is.
Hello and welcome to another Witty StarCraft 2 commentary, brought to you by WTii.
Hi, this is Witty, and I am playing as the blue Protoss on the right position on Metalopolis. At the bottom position is crun. Crun is the red Protoss at the bottom position. Did I already say bottom position? I think I said it 3 times now, including that last time where I said bottom position, which would now make it the 4th time I've said it. Anyway, getting back to the game. I really need to stop doing these commentaries when I'm tired, seriously. Anyway, yeah, so this is actually a bit more of an interesting game. Last couple ones are a bit more educational. This one's educational too, but it's a bit more pressure in this game, so a bit more little shiny things for you to watch, I suppose. Now the two pros meet each other in the middle. This is just so obvious that that is a 9 pro basically. You know, by 9 pro I mean it puts down the pylon at 9 and then goes and scouts. Unless it's like a 6 pro from one of these bases. So it's pretty obvious we're in close proximity here. So the main thing I'm going to be wanting to do in this game is to keep an eye on my enemy. Copy what he does. Push your luck, you know, go for a heavy economy. As soon as that chrono boost ran out, boom, went straight on there again. You might have spotted that if you didn't. Rewind and have a look. So as we can see, he's getting himself a gateway, so as soon as I can afford it, boom, gateway. Now the reason why I put the pylon here is so I can block off my minerals a bit. You'll love how I've built, because I know I'm against the Protoss player. This is a slight advantage about being random, whereas he doesn't know if he's against Zerg or whatever, because if Zerg, he can build his gateway here and then Cybernetics core here and protect himself. But it's always good to have your buildings further back. The only problem with having your buildings here, as you can see actually just for a second, he's built a second gateway now, and I'm keeping an eye on that. I've actually got myself in a simulator because later on, there we go, second gateway. Just make sure, you know, it's actually very close positions there. It's 26 seconds, that's all it takes to get from one base to the other if you're close positions on Metalopolis. So bear that in mind. You can't really afford to be more than like 20 seconds behind your opponent in terms of building the equivalent building, if it's a mirror match. So he's chrono boosting out his sellers. He's going to obviously want to be very aggressive. I'm going to spot this. I'm like, oh, look at that chrono boost going that gateway. What's that all about? So meanwhile, actually, that pylon's screwing me over, is it? Nah, I hate it how they do that. Why can't that last pro just go around there? Anyway, I don't think it's going to affect my income too much, so that's not too big a deal. But I like this build because it blocks any sellers from getting inside of my mineral line. They have to go a nice long way around, so I know he wants to put on pressure. That's no biggie. You might notice in the top left, I've just noticed this, the production thing. Blizzard haven't improved that, so that's nice since this patch. You can actually see how long until those sellers come out. Look, you see the little bar? Yeah? You should be able to see it. I put my videos up on 1000 ATP, so you better appreciate it. Hell yeah. So he's got himself a simulator. He's not even using it at this point. That's not very good. Meanwhile, I'm like, ooh, I want to see what he's doing. Has he built a pylon out here? Is ready attack already? So I'm getting my sellers. I'm making sure I'm building more sellers. This seller here is actually a fake one. What it is it's a seller that I'm going to cancel if I notice that he isn't actually putting that much pressure on me. Now does it get cancelled? I'm pretty sure I do cancel that setup because I noticed the last time I scattered. Yeah, it does. You just saw it get cancelled because I noticed there was a cybernetics core. Now at this point I'm not actually paying too much attention to him in my front, which is when he attacks, because I just finished my cybernetics core. It's like, oh crap, move everything back. He's got a slight advantage at this point, but I've got the closer base with the closer gateways, which is going to bring closer units in. So obviously pull that weakest one to the back so it's harder for him to get to it, and bring your 2 strong sellers to the front, and he's scared off. He's like, no. So anyway, at this point I'm in a very comfortable position. Next things I'm going to be building are sentries, because this guy, if he's aggressive at the start, it's unlikely he's going to be like, oh, screw it, I'm just going to go, you know, for a 30-minute no-rush game now. You know, they will basically try to constantly attack, and that's what having this probe in this base is helpful for. I've got one at the front, which is just on his way back now. That made him think that was the only scout and probe, but I've actually got one hidden in here. So that's quite funny. He didn't check that, and he supply blocked himself, which is harsh. But he's going for the whole 4-gate rush here, so he wants to be very aggressive. He's getting himself stalkers. I could reply in kind and get myself stalkers. The sentries, you get about 4 or 5 and you can permanently block the ramps, so that's the key. So meanwhile, we can see that not much is going on. I'm well aware of him coming up here. He gets way too cocky with that stalker. Force field on the ramp. That's a free stalker kill basically. He's going to sneak off just slightly. That's going to be annoying for me because you imagine I'm trying to macro on my base and make sure he doesn't get in the ramp. So just leave my units on it. And there goes another force field, leaving the rest of his units behind. So, oh dear. So we've got a forge here. Now the reason for this is that it's actually just good to have a forge in general, especially in mirror matches and other situations, I suppose, to get weapons. But I didn't actually get them for the weapons. I actually got it because I want to put a cannon here. I'm just poking out here just to see what's coming in front. As you can see, he wants to put his pile on. So yeah, this guy wants to be super aggressive. I could have probably taken that, but I'm not taking any risks here. I'm the one with the force field. He wants to come into my base, so I'll just chill out a bit. Going to be getting myself a robotics bay as well, because obviously I want to go to Immortals if he's going to be getting a lot of Stalkers, and then later Colossi if I can afford them. He's getting his gateways now, so he's ready to warp in units. So this pylon's coming in just in time. He's got a lot of minerals. Wow, that was massive miss macro there. He definitely could have had a lot more to attack me with, but then again, force field would have still negated that. So at this point, you see here, what I do here is I deliberately put the force field there and then the force field again. What that does is it's unfortunately screwed over it a bit because the Stalkers are held back. But it does push the rest of his units up again. If you'd like to see that again, you can see it again. Let's have a look again, shall we? Anyway, I'll just quickly explain this. Cannon here, cannon here. This means that if he gets an observer, he'll be able to get 3 shots on my buildings. There's nothing I can do about it unless there's 2 cannons there. That way he can't really get shots. Plus, this cannon helps because it's very closely protected against this ramp. So it can get some shots in if I can decide to fight nearby the ramp. Now, let's watch the force fields again and you'll see what I did. There's a reason why I did it. I didn't just panic. One force field there, another force field here. This pushes these 2 Stalkers further up and outside of the range of his Stalkers. Did I say Stalkers? Sellers. Anyway, yeah. So, that's just something you might want to consider. Every time you put a force field on someone, it's funny how he sneaked out of that one. I'm not sure what the hell that was about, but yeah. If you put a force field on something, it generally tends to push it back, so you can use that to your advantage. Keep putting force fields down until it comes inside your army. And what is he doing there? That's a huge mess up there. So really, this is just a replay you want to watch and just learn from and say, don't do what Crun's doing here. So we're very reckless here. His macro's pretty bad, to be honest. He's just giving up now at this point. He's coming straight out. Really needs to get an Immortal out at some point soon. He's still got a reasonable army, to be quite frank with you, and he could have had a lot more. So yeah, you just want to. I probably wanted a couple more sentries in hindsight as well. That way I can permanently keep my force field up on that ramp. Now he's going to want to try and warp in units. I'm cool with that because I'm just going to bring off quite a few probes off my line just to be a bit more of a meat shield. And he's got units blocked in here. What's going on here? That's probably because of the force field. They're getting stuck. So he's trying to drag him back to Stalker at the back, but it's still not going to work out for him. I'm definitely in a very comfortable position here. I don't think this is going to be any issue here at this point. Oh, look at that, sick. So, yeah. There you go. I'm really not getting this one, to be honest. I mean, definitely want to make sure your mortar doesn't take too much damage, because if it's focus fired, it can die fight very easily, but a mortar is so good against sentries. So, just take note, really, from this replay of what to do against a very aggressive Protoss. That's how I'll put this one. This can be another educational one, I guess. Won't they all, eh? So, the cannons here are to attack Stalkers if they want to try and get 3 shots in this building and my pylons and possibly probes, and there's, say for example, not much I can do about it if I've only got Cellars and sentries. So that way the cannons cover that possibility. Also notice the building placement. It's all blocking the nexus and access to my mineral line. Look how far my enemy would have to actually go around here to even get close to my mineral line. So that's another thing, but you can't really get away with that unless you know you're definitely against a Protoss player, or playing as a Protoss player, you know what I mean. And yeah, just be clever and careful with your force fields. If you get 4 to 5 sentries, you can permanently block that ramp. So no matter how aggressive your enemy wants to be, they will not get past those force fields. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Witty. Please subscribe, rate and comment.